Hello, class, and welcome to week 5. We're gonna be discussing branding in the next weeks, weeks 5 and weeks 6. Is this gonna sound more like a marketing class because branding is all about marketing essentially, but that doesn't mean that it's not important or relevant for public relations content on media and on social media because branding needs to be consistent. So my intent here is to go over some of the um, basics of branding, and we're gonna start with the branding definition, right? So what is branding? Branding is as defined by the American Marketing Association. It's the process of communicating your unique selling proposition. And what is that? That is how you can differentiate from the other products and services in that category. So some examples of branding techniques are, the more frequent ones like the logos, the taglines, the jingles, and the mascots, but it's not all about the visual components. It encompasses more elements, and so it refers basically to how you want to be seen and what can your customers expect from me. So branding is not only about your slogan and what your logo is, but it's about what it's behind that. And it's something that requires a strategy. And we're going to discuss the strategy in the upcoming slides. So branding is and here is a slide that I wanted to include so you understand what branding is. So say, for instance, you sell shampoos. Well, you don't say I sell shampoos. Now, if you have a low priced, affordable shampoo that you distribute in major retailers, that your branding is going to be directed to being projected as a low priced, affordable, you can find anywhere. But what about if your shampoo brand is more high end and, as a result is a little bit more high priced and more exclusive, which you can get on a club or as a result of being a member of a company? Well, that is something different. That is what sets you apart in that case, and that is how you will define yourself using all the communication strategies. So how do you build a brand? You can build a brand according to price, according to quality, according to how reliable you are, or even the warranty. Think about one brand that Craftsman, that for hardware, and that you can find in a couple of hardware stores like Home Depot. And so their brand is known because they have a lifetime warranty. And how do I know this? Well, that's because that is how I came to know the brand since it was first introduced, or since the first moment I saw it. So that becomes their powerful and main message. And so that is their branding strategy. Or maybe if you have customer service, you can build a brand around your customer service strategy, and think about what companies can you think of according to your experience with them that have built a brand according to the customer service they offered. So branding requires building a strategy, and it's not something that happens with only your logo, with only your slogan. Everything and all the pieces must come together so you can project to your customers what you're all about. And then it should encompass one unifying concept, so people think of you as a whole, as one, and think about how you can stand out from the competition, um, visually, in terms of voice, in terms of personality, and other branding elements. What are your values? What do you stand for? What does your company believe in? You know, what are the tactics? Do I project that I know what are the needs of my consumers? Do I stand out with a distinctive value proposition? And how do I position my brand when compared to others? What makes me different? So I think one example that you might agree with me, that it's a really strong brand in my opinion, and very cohesive, and it's a whole unifying concept, even though it's a brand that has many different product categories. But I'm sure you can differentiate this Apple brand from the competition in almost all of the categories. And so take a look at this screenshot that I shared, and this is only from their website, particularly about one of their iPhones. And then when you navigate through the website, you're gonna see that it's the same place, it's the same minimalist look, simple yet modern, and that is all part of the clean of their strategy. And so how the company portrays and reflects what they stand for, what are their values, and how they take them, not only through their experience with the products, but with how they project themselves, in this case, in the website. So one of their values is the strong ties with the environment. And then how are they, you know, one thing is to say we are environmentally friendly. Well, you have to demonstrate you are. And so if you take a look at their website and even the design of the products, you can feel that they are environmentally friendly. And then they go beyond, and they say how the products are made and how the products are designed, and that involves transparency too. So that is reflected, and it's part of their branding strategy. And then education, and how Apple is has close ties with education and taking their products to maybe some of the underserved communities, and how they have strong relationships with some schools and some, you know, K-12 and higher education institutions, not only because they want their product to be there, is so people can find the value of using the product in that area. And this is more, these two components of the environment and education, they're all about, you know, PR and about the image that they portray. And so people give values or assign values to brand. And in the marketing area, that's called brand equity. Okay, so brand equity, it's a term that shows what is the value of the brand to the consumer, and how the consumer, based on perception and the experience that they already have with a product or a service, they assigned a value. So it's kind of this relationship between the customers and the brand. And so I'm sure you've heard about the customer journey, and you know, people establish the value according to a model. You know, first of all, you know, there's awareness. You introduce a brand to your customers, or you come to know about a brand, and then the brand becomes familiar, you know, in terms of recognition to the audience, and then they can be recognized somewhere else. So once I know Apple, maybe in this recognition part, I can tell that the Apple symbol is for the Apple computers. And then trial, I decide to try the brand, to see what it stands for, to see how my experience is with the brand. And then I come to know that I may pay a premium price for Apple, for the Apple brand, but I want to try it. I want to have the experience. And then when I have that experience, the brand provides me, or provided me with a good experience, and then Apple becomes my preferred option. And then right after that, I become loyal to a brand, and I suggest it to others, and it becomes only my only choice. And so Apple is a brand that has a strong value, and that has done a good job with the branding. And here in the images, you see the lines of the stores when they launch a product. And then you can see how in the customer retention or loyalty stage, that's kind of me. You know, I tried the computer first, I tried the pods afterwards, and then the iPad. So I'm customer loyal to that. And I am aware that maybe the price is premium, but the value is higher. Okay, so another part of branding is the brand image, and the brand image is what comes to your mind when you think about a brand. So the representation of brands include the, you know, as I said, the values, the colors, the icons, the logo, and even the reputation. And then what comes to your mind, you form your opinion once you come in contact with a product, or even when you see a business card or when you see a website. You know, I see a lot of websites that I just form my own opinion about that product or service based on how the website is organized. So people, everyone has an opinion, and so you need to be really careful and consistent with how you project your brand across the communication platforms, across the experiences with the customers, because you want to establish or have a nice impression on your customer. And so that brings me to the next essential element of branding, which is brand positioning. So this is a classic example. So when you want to clean your ears, do you say cotton swab or do you say Q-tip? And so the brands that have done an exceptional job with branding become even the generic term for their similar products. So Q-tips is a nice example that you should definitely study. Pampers is another one, you know. Do we say diaper or we say Pampers? Do we say cotton swab or we say Q-tip? And then think about the brands that you that encompass one whole product type or product category. That is good branding right there. So branding positioning is how you position your brand in the minds of the consumers. So kind of more like doing a fancy tagline or a creative slogan or a fancy logo. Brand positioning is the strategy that you really use to set your business apart from the rest. Now, how can you form or do your positioning strategies? Where it depends where you want to go. But I'm sure you've heard about the 4 Ps of marketing, and it's how you position your product out there in terms of the benefits, in terms of the pricing. And the pricing is not only the regular price, it's the discounts you give and the special offers. How do you promote the product across the different traditional and digital media? And then where is your product available? So you can do it according to those strategies, or you can even say, I want to do a brand, my brand positioning based on the customer service experience that people have with my company, or I want to position a product based on how convenient it is, and think about how Swiffer is an alternative to the brooms. So, you know, that is an example right there of how you could position your brand. You separate it from the rest and give alternatives. And then you can position it to according to how you know, if your product is high quality, you can even do a social media positioning strategy or other types of positional strategies. But the important thing is that you need to think and to stop and think about how you want your customers to think about your brand. So kind of like you are the person. And this is the last element, which is brand personality. And the brand personality is, what are the human characteristics of a brand? Think about which brands you think are fun, that you would like to go on a date with. Or put it another way, is how you would describe a brand if it were a person. So you take that personality through your communication, through your messages, through your images, social media posts, and marketing campaigns. So when you think about Bobo, you know they are all about that brand is about safety. Or when you think about Nike, well, you know that's a personality that's excited, active, always ready to go and ready to move. So those are all parts of the efforts that brands do, and they go a long way of establishing a strong branding strategy, so people know who they are, they can identify them, and they can hopefully engage in business with them, become customers, and then become loyal customers. So when you think about your what your pieces of content you're doing with a client, just make sure um, dig deeper and think about what the brand personality is for your client in this class. So that should be it for branding. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a good rest of your day.